Okay, so I'm going to go over the installation of the ASD defeat. So it's the active sound design. It's the thing in the BMWs that they use to pump fake car noises through the car stereo speakers so you can hear the engine and everything better. I'm kind of curious what it is like without it, because I've seen some videos, comparisons, and I actually think I would prefer to have the car without it so I can just listen to the real motor itself. But anyways, here it is. So here's the harness I ordered. I just Googled. There's like 2 companies that make these, just ASD defeat BMW on a Google search, and a couple of them will pop up. The tools you're going to need: 10 millimeter to do the battery, and a T40 Torx, and just a simple tool for popping interior rivets and stuff. Yeah, you can find those on, all over the interweb. So, all right. So, first thing is battery. Okay, so I've disconnected the battery using the 10 millimeter socket, and one of the things I like to do is put a clean, dry cloth. That thing's never been used, the one I just have on there, just in case, because since we are working on the back of the car today, when you pull this panel out, if you happen to bump the grounding wire and everything from the battery, you could reconnect it and all that. So we'll just do that to keep it out of the way. Another thing that nobody ever mentions is if you've got a wetting band, there is potential for wetting band making contact, with positive, negative, ground, whatever, and arcing with your finger, with your metal tools and all this. So just food for thought. Next, we have to pop, just to get a little bit more light in here, but we'll pop the 60 part of your 60/40 rear fold down seat. Push that forward. That also gives us access to another tab we need. And you've got 4 of these, and I've already popped all the tabs. Everything's all ready to go. But you have 4 of these interior little rivets. Make sure you set these aside somewhere. You're not going to lose them, or they're going to drop somewhere in here like earlier. I already dropped one in there. It was kind of a pain to get out because it's narrow. All right, next you've got this little J-hook looking one. Pop the rivet on that. Then you've got another one up here. And the last one of the rivets is up here, which is why you have to fold down the rear seat. And then this is where you need your T40 Torx. Is for this luggage anchor point, whatever this is here, cargo anchor. It's got a little cap on it. You can use your panel removal tool, pop this little cap off, then your T40 Torx, unscrew this. I've already done it to make this video easier. Set this stuff aside. Okay, next thing is this weather stripping in your trunk. This should just pull up. It's really easy to push back in place, so don't freak out about ripping your weather stripping apart. And then remove this panel. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. It's really only held in place by, there's this little post here and this little post right here, which, go in here in these little holes. That's why it's the only thing holding it in place. You don't have to pop these little panels off. You don't have to pop these off here at all, because that just gives access to here, which is the trunk latch mechanism. So don't worry about that. Set this thing aside so you don't step on it. Next, we're going to actually remove the whole panel, this thing, and it pretty much just folds down. One thing is, when you pull this thing out, this is the 12-volt accessory plug, and it literally is just a push-on, so there's no little tab or anything. It just literally just pushes right onto this, so don't have to worry about any little connector tab or anything, because you can't see it because it's dark in there and it's hard to see. But this pulls out. Okay, on this panel that you pull out of the vehicle, this whole section is actually behind a portion of the rear seat, a little corner here, and I'll show you. You actually have to pop that piece out a little bit. There's a little tab in there. Pop that out a little bit in order to get the whole panel piece back in place properly. Next is this little thing, and it just literally comes right out. There's this little pin here that goes into a hole right there, and then the front of this little U-notch goes on to right here. And all right, next, locating the actual ASD device is this little guy right here. So how to open this, there's this little tab here which you could use a screwdriver, or it's literally, you can just do it with your, one finger. As you open the lever, the actual plug will push out a little bit. Don't pull on the wires, pull on the actual plug itself and remove it. That's it. And then you're going to grab your harness, which it's kind of self-explanatory based on the way the pins are inside. It only goes one way. The box is what the factory part goes into. Make sure I have this oriented correctly. I don't think I can do this one-handed, so hold on a second. So after you get the plug back in, make sure you have on this gray portion, make sure that this black bar is in the open position, this direction where it is now. And as you slide it in, it will lock in place. It's locked, and you hear the little click and all that. And then you have to put the other part of the jumper harness, make sure it's oriented correctly with this round part and the bar open being on the top. Just slides in there, and as you push it in, it actually, the locking bar starts closing because the way this is designed, and that's it. It's locked in place, and that's it. That's how you get the ASD to feet harness in the back of an M235, my F22 with my N55 engine. The last thing I have to show you is the seat part. Okay, so I'm in the back of my car now. This is the driver's side rear seat. To get your interior trim panel back in, it does have to wedge back under this little seat corner here. And to do that, all you have to do is, you hear that click? There's this bronze tab right here that actually goes into this, I know it's kind of hard to see, that little hole right there next to this bolt. To get it back in, after you slide the panel back in, you have to lift up and then hook it back in like a motion, which I don't think I can do one-handed. Alright, so with two hands, that's actually really easy. So in the time that it took me to make this video, what, 7.5 minutes so far, like literally add a minute to do the battery, 10 seconds to pull the interior lining piece out, and you really watched me do the harness live. So this shouldn't take you, 10 minutes to do, putting it in, a couple minutes to reinstall interior, everything. Like, this shouldn't take you longer than a half hour. All right. Got any questions? I guess leave a comment below. I'm going to try to post more videos on my M235 stuff as I do it. All right. Cool. Later.